Hey everybody, now we're here for the first part of a seafaring double feature. And we have the 1940 film The Seahawk, starring Errol Flynn. Now in this movie, King Philip II, Montague Love of Spain, has ambitions to rule the world, but England stands in his way. He sends the Spanish ambassador, Claude Rains, and his niece, Brenda Marshall, to England in a gesture of friendship while he builds the Spanish Armada. However, on the trip over, they run into English privateer Captain Geoffrey Thorpe, Errol Flynn, who destroys their ship in self-defense when they fire on him first. He gives them passage to England. In public, Queen Elizabeth, Flora Robson, reprimands him, but in private, he convinces her to let him and his crew go to Panama to steal a shipment of gold intended for the Spanish. The Spanish ambassador and the traitorous Lord Wolfingham, Henry Daniel, get wind of this and send some men ahead of him. In Panama, Captain Thorpe and his men are either captured or killed as they attempt to take the gold. And all the survivors are sentenced to be galley slaves on Spanish ships. But when they find the plans for the Spanish Armada, he must escape and get those plans to the Queen. I think that this is a fun pirate movie. Admittedly, not a traditional pirate movie, as there's nobody with eye patches, peg legs, nobody says "arrgh" or other well-known pirate phrases. However, we do have a good ship battle to start the movie off, and no CGI here. It was used with real ships that they built within a soundstage. It just looks wonderful. One thing I should mention is that this is a mostly black and white movie, with the Panama section done in the sepia, like the non-color sections of The Wizard of Oz. Apparently it was done this way for that section to help suggest how hot it was supposed to be in Panama. Otherwise I wouldn't even mention it, because black and white color shouldn't matter. It should be fun to watch regardless. But however you do want to look at it, this is a movie that I enjoyed very much, and I would eagerly recommend it as one of the best pirate movies. This movie was originally released in 1940, where it proved to be quite successful. The movie was reissued again in 1947 as part of a double feature with the similarly titled, and also directed by Michael Curtiz, The Seawolf. However, due to the length, both films were shortened, mainly with cuts from the original camera negatives, leaving only the shortened versions of either film available for the longest time. Now, in the 1980s, Warner Brothers was able to restore the missing sections to the Seahawk. The restored sections were apparently from lesser elements, so they don't look quite as good as the rest of the movie. The recent release on Blu-ray from Warner Archive Collection has done a marvelous job of restoring the movie. I'm not familiar enough with the movie to know what moments were originally cut, but I can see that there are some moments that don't look quite as good. However, I think that they look as good as they can, and I personally consider this release to be one of the best classic film restorations to come out on disc in 2018. Personally, I'd give the edge to Warner Archive's June release of Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, but this one ranks up there just the same. So yes, I do highly recommend this movie, particularly with the recent high-definition Blu-ray release. This movie is available on Blu-ray, as I said, and DVD from Warner Archive Collection, and is 2 hours and 7 minutes in length. Well, that's all for this one. Tune in again in about another hour for the second half of today's double feature.